Hello and welcome to your May 2018 Aries Taurus new moon. This is occurring on Tuesday, May 15th, right after the Sunday we celebrate Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all, birth mothers, surrogate, and adoptive mothers. This is a day that is a beautiful celebration of life through the mother energy, that nurturing, compassionate, loving energy. And for those of us who have not necessarily experienced that in a consistent and loving way, this day can be extremely difficult. In fact, it can be even more difficult than the holidays around November and December. And so I want to remind everyone that Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck and readings are specifically designed for individuals who are experiencing mama drama trauma. These new full moon, quarterly, and lunar new year readings are specifically to assist us in remaining vigilant and understanding our divinity, that we do in fact have access to the mother of all mothers within us, that yin energy within us that we directly connect to with the lunar cycle. So you may not have MDT, but your spouse may have it, your in-laws, adoptive children, families that you've been adopted into, close friends. It affects us all, and it does spill over into all aspects of our lives. Co-workers, managers, people who have issues that we can really boil them down to telltale signs of MDT. I'll put the link below to the telltale signs of MDT that are posted on the Mama Drama Trauma YouTube channel. If you do have mama drama trauma, then you are experiencing some form of emotional or physical abandonment or abuse on a consistent basis as a result of your birth mother, adoptive or surrogate mother's inability, unavailability, or unreadiness, unwillingness to heal her own mama drama trauma. It is a vicious family cycle. So Great Mother has a special Mother's Day message for you. I will also post that link at the bottom in the links below. When this deck was channeled to me, Great Mother was very clear about wanting to connect with her children, most estranged and alienated from her due to our birth mother experience. Not about victimization, shame, or guilt. This is about aligning ourselves with our true identity as children of the Great Mother, Father, God. Because, of course, we cannot heal mama drama trauma on our own. We need to surrender to a higher power that is able to heal a wound of void as deep as that. And so the vigilance and remembering our divinity as being dearly loved children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone, is a universal identity. But again, as Great Mother has shared with me, an identity that her children most alienated from her love need to know. And with that, from the mother of all mothers, now for the new moon in Aries Taurus. Libra, Scorpio, moon sign people, Libra in your sidereal soul astrology and Scorpio in the tropical. You want to double check the links below because you might be Scorpio in both the Vedic and in the Western astrology, which is based on our emotions, that ego-oriented astrology, that earth-centric astrology, and the soul astrology, which is based on the cosmos, the celestial, cosmological perspective of the universe, is where we get our soul downloads. And so at this particular time during this Taurus new moon, which is 7th house energy for you, the moon is in your 7th house conjunct Mercury, Uranus, and Mars. How exciting is that? Wow, Uranus has just left a 7-year stint in Aries And so now it's moved from the identity, the self-orientation, into the values, the money, the finance, the materialization of that identity. What makes life worth living to you in the world? Now, you are approaching this new moon asking yourself, or needing to ask yourself, about judgments or condemnations that are coming your way. This seventh house energy is telling me that in your personal, professional relationships, specifically, I would say at home. So if you work with a spouse or your children or a family business, or just at home with your family, there may be some feelings coming up for you at this particular time that are really causing you to have some malaise related to contentment in your life. There's a feeling of discontent and wanting to express your views in ways that are open, but feeling blocked in your ability to do that at this particular time. And so Great Mother's coming through, and she's reminding you, just as we see here, Hickory greeting Dorothy on her return from the yellow brick road at the side of the bed, asking her, do you remember me? Now, he's not talking about, do you remember me when I was on the farm and we were dancing around talking about Miss Gulch? Do you remember me on the yellow brick road as Scarecrow? And she does. We can tell by the way she's looking at him that she does. Do you remember your family, your mother, your husband, your children from the other side? Those souls in your group that decided to incarnate with you, that are causing this malaise in your life, or that you may be perceiving as the cause of this malaise. That's what Great Mother's asking you. Do you remember? Do you remember? Now, this is, again, not about guilt, shame, or blame. Like, you should remember so you aren't upset. No, we're acknowledging that there is an issue here. You have Mars in your fourth house. So it's on and popping, okay? But what we're saying is, through self-inquiry, you hold up any thought, idea, or judgment that causes you pain to the pure light of inquiry. Byron Katie, Byron Katie on YouTube. Check it out. The 4 questions, the work. Start working with that, because that's where you are right now, and your transformative opportunity with regard to this inner work that needs to be done around these feelings causing you this really gut and sacral malaise is all about you following your yellow brick road. You're doing what you want to do, or you are being encouraged to pursue the authentic life that you want to pursue. But because of this, you're having difficulty doing that. And Great Mother wants you to know that you're processing whatever's going on. Either there's been an argument, or there is a very covert, understated, or an issue. There's issue avoidance going on, is what I'm sensing. And with mama drama trauma, when that occurs, it creates rage. And oh boy, you have the rage card here in your shadow position. So yes, and you don't know it. Okay, you don't know that you're enraged. It's in your shadow position. Often when rage comes up, we don't know that we are enraged, and we certainly don't want to admit it. But rage, remember, is suppressed anger. We suppress it. Again, this kind of covert, this issue avoidance, and that becomes the norm. And so since that's normal, what's wrong with that? Okay, I'm avoiding the issue, but I mean, that's what we do. We don't want to cause any waves while we sick all the time. You know, leg broke, knee broke, headache, migraine, this what I'm okay. No, you're not okay. And so that's why Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook how important it is to awaken to how this is affecting you, Libra, Scorpio, Moon people.
This is affecting you, and you know this on a gut level. Dorothy here is being greeted by Glinda, who symbolizes Great Mother, in Munchkin Land. That's where you are. You are in Munchkin Land. You are crossing a boundary, a threshold, just as she did from the farmhouse that just thudded down in Munchkin Land after the twister ended, into this Technicolor world. And by watching these videos, or by doing the work in our coaching, or by whatever it is that brought you to watch this video, you have crossed into a whole nother sense of awareness about yourself, about what your wants and your needs are, particularly at home, and what kind of domestic support that you need in order to really pursue what it is you know is your yellow brick road in life. And the yellow brick road with Mama Drama Trauma is living in loving detachment. Maybe you are a client who is actively working on that right now, and you are working to accept what is with love, which is what loving detachment is, and you're processing that. Here we have another balsamic moon card, which is right before the new moon. It's the download period. So you're downloading from that Libra. Again, check the links below. You may be Scorpio and Sidereal as well. Every mother wants the best for her child, whether it's what the child feels is best for it or not. From the mother's perspective, Aunt Em is telling Dorothy, look, you just had a bad dream. I'm sure you had this experience on the yellow brick road. Get better. Just get better. And Dorothy's trying to tell her, I'm great. I am better. I might not look like I am, but I'm great. Let me tell you about it. You're processing all of that. You're having a very similar experience, Libra, Scorpio moon people, with your mother during this Mother's Day period. And it is causing you to really get in touch with your gut. Again, this is a gut chakra balsamic moon card. We have the gut here, and you have the gut chakra here with awakening, seeing the truth beyond the veil. The gut chakra has antenna to the third eye. You have gut chakra here. And so there's a survival issue. There's an instinctual issue for you as it relates to where you are in your process at this time. There is, in this new moon, of planting and planning, and you're not quite planting yet. That the crescent moon got me thinking about planting. That's when you actually will be planting from your awareness of who you are. Let me see here. This judgment that's coming against you, that you're going to look at Byron Katie to help you work through whatever that issue is going to give you some insights about the guilt that you're feeling at this time. Okay, guilt is housed in our gut chakra. Okay, that's what I had to take a minute to look at, because you have all this gut chakra energy. You're feeling guilty, Libra, Scorpio moon people. And Great Mother wants you to know, just like the Munchkins wanted to know, and Glinda asked Dorothy, the Munchkins want to know, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And at this time, Dorothy didn't know what she was talking about. She just said, I'm just Dorothy from Kansas. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. I don't even want to know what you're talking about with that woman. I don't know who you are and all this. I'm Dorothy from Kansas, okay? And so it's kind of that, okay? But you're processing all of this. And so you're actively processing this, and that is what she suggests, and what I suggest, rather, with Byron Katie, to do some of the work with that. Great Mother always knows that when we do connect with her in our own genuine way, she's going to give you, through your own intuition, how to approach it. That's just my suggestion. And so as you connect with her intuitively through your Libra energy, which is all about balance and beauty, and this new moon is in the nakshatra in Aries of Bharani, which is about bearing the load. And that soul energy can bear the load, and can get out of balance real easily with this pain avoidance issue, with this people pleasing issue. And so it's very important for you to realize that there is no guilt here. As the Course in Miracles says, guilt is a useless emotion. It's an emotion that Scorpio moon sign people aren't typically associated with, but you really are starting to register the shadow side of those in your domestic environment. You're beginning to communicate about your rage, whether you would identify it as rage or not. That's what it is. It's a suppressed anger that's starting to kind of come out. But by doing this, another gut chakra card, see, that's why she had me stop and get clear about this guilt issue. You're learning to live the law. And what is the law? The law is ego soul alignment. And so that's what you're trying to do. You're realizing there's a shadow side to all of this that I'm not seeing. I'm not really seeing the love of my family from a soul level. I'm not really seeing that they are actually coercing me into my authenticity. I'm processing it though. And I'm also looking at who I am spiritually. Am I a good witch or a bad witch? Am I a witch that is trying to control the situation at home? Now, if you've been to Al-Anon, you're familiar with what I've shared with you in terms of how we cannot heal this disease on our own. We have to surrender to a higher power. And Al-Anon also tells us about the 3 C's. We did not cause it, we cannot cure it, and we certainly cannot control it. It's not in your control, Scorpio moon sign people. And so this kind of self-defeating stubbornness, just pray that that's lifted from you, that you can make this situation different than what it is, what the prayer is at this time that you're processing. Just as Dorothy, you think she's going to ever change Aunt M's mind about her journey to live in loving detachment and learn to live the law? Don't think so. But she can and will change herself by doing so. She will shift that gut chakra energy from indigestion to procession and procession to another way of being. And speaking of procession, the North Node at this time in the Western is in Leo and in Aquarius in the Sidereal. That is your 11th house. So how you are connecting with groups and your public image and all of that this time is really perhaps connected to your family. That's why I was kind of getting the feeling of maybe family business or something like that. You have very close family associations, which is what makes this really hard for you. But what you see here in this first quarter moon card, this gut chakra card, is that she's being awarded by the mayor of Munchkinland, speaking of public image. And this is a new group of people. She's never met the Munchkins before. But yet and still they want to reward her for what? Crashing the farmhouse, which she had no control over, onto the Wicked Witch of the East, who taunted and haunted them. So there's something that you don't know, that you are blessing your family by initiating this process. And that's why Great Mother is kind of whispering in your ear, do you remember who these souls are? And Scorpio moon sign people, you can kind of really go into that space and download. Jupiter is in Scorpio at this time and is in Libra in the Sidereal. So not only do you have a energetic propensity to be able to do it, you can be successful in accessing accurate information about your family so that you can work through all of this and see it for what it is. Dorothy didn't know that Aunt Em and Uncle Henry had made a soul agreement for her to have to leave the farm and find her own self. Aunt Em, in this card, when you get the guidebook with this deck, it's her quote is, Dorothy, Toto must go. We cannot go against the law. And what is the law? Our soul contract. And our soul contract is with our loved ones who insist that we evolve in self-love and spiritual independence through MDT. So things are coming together for you. By the full moon in Sagittarius, the end of this month, 29th, 28th, you're going to begin to feel that things are coming together for you. If you really work with these energies the way Great Mother has suggested, or of course through your own contact and communication and follow-up action, you will feel things coming together. You will sense things coming together. This is the scene when Dorothy is shocked to see Glinda descend from the sky when all seems gone with her efforts in returning back home to the farm. So all may seem lost, all may seem if not lost, like an uphill battle. Like, wow, I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm upset, my family's upset, or there's an issue that is not being expressed and we're upset anyway, but we're not articulating it. How is this going to blow up into a rageful situation, or am I going to actually be able to transform it? Remember, Uranus is in your 7th house as well, and it will be for the next 7 years. It just left Aries, a 7-year stint there. And so your 7th house for 7 years, that's how you can remember Uranus. And Uranus is a planet of soul genius, of unique soul expression, of sudden innovations, of sudden new paths and discoveries and eureka moments. That's how we speak of it in the lunar space. And so things will begin to really come together for you as this cycle progresses. What's going to facilitate that synthesis is you doing the work of focusing on what brings you joy, what that authentic desire is that you have this new moon, and planting those seeds to support that in your inner space. And so the new moon wishes are all about supporting your inner space in order for the fulfillment of the cycle to be a support for you based on your concerns at this time. So we have Hathor as the new moon card of your spread, which is the goddess of desire, the Egyptian goddess of desire that has two faces, of the bull and of the hippopotamus, the very ominous and ugly hippopotamus that devours, one of the first devouring, terrible, bad mother archetypes. And so she has both of those sides. And so with the pleasure principle card, new moon card, this is the bridge from the farm over to Professor Marvel's camp. And so are you leaving a bad situation internally, emotionally? Are you letting it go out of fear? Or are you letting it go because you're following your bliss? Are we doing it to avoid the rhinoceros? Or are we doing it because we're going toward that celestial cow and those nipples that are the stars, the spewed milk, that cosmos that supports and buoys our physical experience? Which one are we going toward? The greater part of ourselves, in other words, or the lesser? And your outcome card indicates that you're definitely in your integrity going toward the greater part of yourself. Libra, Scorpio moon people. You have indeed 3 balsamic moon cards: the gut chakra, the second chakra, and the heart chakra, the crossroads between the ego and the soul. Balsamic download card. You are actively downloading. You are fully utilizing that Jupiter in Libra, Scorpio energy, which is all about receiving downloads that will support your abundance, related to connecting with not only others, but with that internal space that aligns your material intentions with your soul purpose. So this is an absolute incredible reading, even from a Great Mother Speaks perspective. You are doing some fantastic internal work. I can't wait to see what you have to say about your new moon suggested wishes and what yours will be that supplement them. 10 in total. I just suggest 5, and of course you make your own 10 wishes, and we'll still see what Great Mother has to say during this full moon, when things will be definitely coming together for you this full moon or the next. Thanks for watching, and remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.